I only wanted Spurs. Play the truck.
What the fuck was
For
that?
fuck's sake, Nicky. For God's sake, why did you have that? You have obviously had that set up from your stream yesterday. You're trolling. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't know how that worked. I don't know how that happened.
Where is that? Let me delete that. Where is that? So that will go. Yeah, intro. You had it set up in the bloody intro.
How?
Let me remove that because that will just play every time we go live. Oh my God.
Yeah, I definitely don't want that.
We don't want that. That's for God's sake. That's a slap in the face. It's Friday Night Pint and we're live. 4-man Friday Night Pint. It's been a while since we've done that. But yes, we'll be getting the final thoughts on Kudus officially leaving. What is next for West Ham? Where do we go from here? Potential replacement James McAtee from Man City. We can talk about him and many more. Along with all the other goings on. So, lads, how's it going? It's good to see you. Good to be with you all tonight.
Yeah, it's been a long time since all four of us have been here. I'm looking forward to this one.
You know, shit's gone down when 4 people are on. I tell you, if Graham turns up, it's fucking World War III.
Yeah, you might as well go. You might as well fucking blow the club up if Graham turns up.
The end times.
But I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. Many Spurs fans try and pretend that we're not all right, but we're all right, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, we've had some Spurs fans coming for us over the past few days. They're calling us all sorts of names under the sun. But yeah, my favourite one was from last Friday.
Sorry, one of them said they could smell me through the screen.
Yeah,
smell me through the screen.
Smell-o-vision. I liked last week when it was. They said I was Grant Mitchell. You was Phil Mitchell and Scott was Ian Beale. Scott, can you give us I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left, Bill. Yeah. Ah, yes. Yeah. You would have made Jace's night there. He saw that comment and was like, please, can Scott say that?
Anyone that's seen me on the sidelines at football is that I go all Ian Beale now and again. So,
yeah.
Janosch from Ghostbusters, isn't that right? Janosch.
But but I tell you what, we're talking about having nothing left. West Ham have nothing left. Well, in terms of playing staff, we've got all these players going, still no signings through. We've lost another player, Mohamed Kudus, as many are calling him, has gone to Spurs officially for £54.5 million sterling. Let's obviously me and Nicky have spoke quite a lot about this over the past few days. So we'll start with you and Ryan and Scott, lads. What's your thoughts and feelings now? It's all official.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. You sort of knew it was coming. The club have been touting him around for 3 months, trying to get rid of him. So, from Kudus' point of view, look, he's got no loyalty to West Ham, has he? It's a job for him, you know. And I see videos the other day about Tottenham and that, but look, Kudus is not signing for 17th place Tottenham. He's signing for Champions League Tottenham. And obviously, you can see what they're trying to do, where they're trying to get Gibbs White in as well, and there's other targets, new manager. Look, you can't take it away from them. They've got a world-class stadium. Their training facilities are world-class. Why wouldn't he want to go there? Whether it was his first choice or not, it's just a kick in the teeth for us as fans, not because he's gone Tottenham. I'd have felt the same way if he'd have gone to any club, because we're trying to build and we've let a good player go. And when you let good players go, it's hard to attract other good players, because any players looking in from the outside, like, you know what I mean? They're going to see Kudus go in. Paquetá will probably leave the club now that it's rumoured that he's being found not guilty. So it's going to be hard for us to build from this. But look, I've spoke to a couple of people this week, and some people are saying that Kudus was part of the problem in the change rooms last season. So maybe Potter's looked at that and thought, do you know what, let's get him out. And then if we're going to sell him, look, I don't think he's worth 85 million. Probably what we got is about right. Maybe we could have squeezed a little bit more out of him. But I'd rather sell him now so we can spend it and build than leave it to the last day of the transfer window and be stuck. So, look, I'm not going to wish him good luck because I don't want to see him do well now. That's just how it is. But he's no longer a West Ham player. So, yeah, That's my fault, Scott. You can.
Yeah, no, you are right, mate. Look, it's a bit of a shit that he's gone to another Premier League side, another London rival. It's no different to what Declan Rice did going to Arsenal. At the end of the day, you don't want to see your better players go into these London rivals, and that's all it is. The London rivals. Spurs are no different to any other team in the Premier League. You don't want to see, this made-up rivalry that some reason has popped up between West Ham and Spurs that I don't understand that much. Look, I give Spurs a lot of stick because I love the fact that you go on their forums whenever we play them and they call it our cup final and they act like it's theirs. So it's a bigger deal for them getting this player than it is really for us letting them go. There's no point throwing your toys out the pram and having a fanny fit over the fact that an overpriced and overpaid footballer with no loyalty to West Ham, he's not a West Ham fan or anything like that, moves to a London rival. They don't care. And this is the big thing that everyone thinks that these players care because they tap the badge, they give it all that. They don't give a shit. And this is the thing. If Millwall were in the Premier League playing Champions League football and they offered these players another 100 grand on their wages, they go and play for Millwall. The days of players having loyalty to the team is few and far between. If he was a West Ham fan, then you have a bit of loyalty to. They ain't got no loyalty because they don't care. It's money. They don't give a shit. And that's what it boils down to. Don't care.
I'm glad what you said at the beginning there, Scott, because I feel the same. When it comes to this rivalry thing, I've always said it. Tottenham are rivals. They're London rivals, just like Arsenal, Chelsea, Palace, Fulham, Brentford. All them teams are. They're just London rivals. So when we say rivalry, it means London because it's another London club. It's not the same as Arsenal, Tottenham, just like it's not the same West Ham, Millwall. But when you take away the online fans and go to Tottenham away, you see the rivalry there in the stands. So there is rivalry. They do hate us just as much as they hate, we hate them, and they hate Chelsea, they hate Tottenham, we hate Arsenal. It's London club. That's it. It's a London thing, Scott.
Yeah, but it's not the same as West Ham, Fulham, West Ham, Charlton, West Ham, Palace. It's not the same.
No, but it's because
another level.
Yeah, it's because they're very similar club. You go to Fulham, and we've been to Fulham many times. Me and Ryan have been there many times. And you sit in a space
flatter at Fulham.
I've come through the fucking gates like a fucking Hot Wheels car at Fulham once. But
yeah, Fulham scored against us once, and their butlers apologised to the away.
Yeah, but this is the thing: it's a working class team from a working class area. So and when you go to Arsenal, they used to be that, but it's a very gentrified area now. You know what I mean? So that's where I think that's where it comes from. That's why we and Millwall have rivalry. That's why us and Spurs have rivalry, because they're working class fans from working class area, and they're nasty bastards, and we're nasty bastards. And that's just the way it is, you know what I mean? And that's the way you got to go. But I've got to say this on the Kudus thing. I don't think there's anybody disappointed that he was going to go. Nobody disappointed. You can go through these videos, and they we've said this many a time. If I could choose anyone to sell, it would have been him. Because do
you know what, Nick? Just quickly, mate, just jump in there. The one thing I am disappointed is that we know he's a good player, and we know that when he plays to his strengths, he will be a good player. And the unfortunate thing is Tottenham probably will do that next season, and you'll see the Kudus that we had in the first season. That's the only disappointing thing for me, because I think he is a good player, and he's only 24 as well. He's still got a great future ahead of him.
Yeah. I said this right. He's a fabulous player. He is a fabulous player, and we saw it. We saw him. He was a fabulous player, but just like a Ferrari engine on the back of a motorcycle, it can be the best engine in the world, but if it doesn't want to work, it doesn't want to work. That's it. You know what I mean? If it's not working for you, it isn't working. There's no point in keeping a player there with all the talent in the world. And Tottenham fans will say this is a bit of copium and all this sort of thing, but he wasn't better than Jared Bowen on the right, so he couldn't play on the right. He wasn't better than Lucas Paquetá in a 10, so he couldn't play in a 10. He's a fantastic player, he didn't like being out on the left. That's it. You know what I mean? He was never going to get in front of Jared Bowen. He took Jared Bowen's space when Jared Bowen was injured when he first came. Yeah, that's why he played on the right. That's why he played so well. Yeah, once Jared Bowen came back, Jared Bowen And I know, again, Tottenham fans are going to say, "Oh, you're talking bollocks," but he's a more important player to West Ham than Mohamed Kudus was.
The best time he was when he played on the right and Bowen was up top and Paqueta was on the left, but they all had that free roll. It was under the first half of the season under Moyes. He had them in that free roll where even though Bowen was up top, Kudus was on the left. Bowen would drift out to the right. Kudus would drift in the centre. Def Paqueta drifting it. So that was when he was at his best. Whether he'll get as much of freedom as that remains to be seen. But, like I said, he's a moody, petulant child. That's how he comes across. And this is the problem. When the shit hits the fan at Spurs, he's going to do the same thing.
I've got to say this as well. The club did not do themselves any favours. The club had been touting him about to get him out. And I was, I was happy for him to go. But, when you do look at it from Kudus' point, there was no one else there. You know what I mean? Like, there was no one else offering money. The club have made it quite clear. I want you gone. You know what I mean? Like, you need to go for us to progress. But I don't like, this is what I don't like. And I said this earlier. This video that coincidentally played at the beginning of this video, I always wanted Spurs and all that sort of thing. I think he's done the fans up there, I think. And of course, he doesn't owe us really anything. But we didn't stop turning up for Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus started to stop turning up for us. Yeah. We didn't make him play like shit. I was still there every week with my ticket to watch Mohamed Kudus play. Mohamed Kudus didn't want to play. So I think I think in terms of like the transfer, when you see the what was going around in the fan base, I think people were more angry at the board for entertaining that. And I was like, I didn't really blame Kudus, but when he goes now and says that in the beginning of the video, yes, of course he doesn't really care. But now I think he's let the fans down there. I think he could have just turned around and went, I don't think so. I'm not going to say that because.
Of course he has. The thing is, mate, Declan Rice done exactly the same thing.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, right. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you're leaving West Ham. You don't owe West Ham nothing.
No, but I think once you've been so poor for it, when we know how good he is, we've seen it. When you've been so poor for so long, seemingly in your choice, you know what I mean? He's the one that didn't want to play. He's the one that didn't want to turn up. He's the one that was moping around the pitch. I still went and watched him. Yep. You know what I mean? I still paid his wages.
Yeah.
He's not handled himself like a professional. That's the problem.
But the thing is now, he's no longer our player. So now he's got to start blowing smoke up Spurs fans' asses. Yeah. So that's what he's doing. It's a promotional video to put you on the thing. Yeah. This is what they're paid to do. And this is the thing that fans have got to get into their head. It ain't like it used to be. Now, you go there, you do these promotional videos, you say these things because you're selling shirts at another football club. You're making yourself more money. You're making the club you're going to more money. It's all smoke and mirrors, mate.
The thing is, Scott, like what you said about Declan Rice, I think Declan Rice was worse than Kudus because he was our captain and he was playing himself to Arsenal months before, standing in front of the fans in Prague with a camera phone, tapping his chest, and then 2 days later, he's fucking off to Arsenal. I think that was worse, if I'm being honest, because at least Kudus he still turned up pre-season. And if we wouldn't have accepted any bids for Kudus and wanted to keep him, I think he would have stayed. I don't see him.
Well, he put in a transfer request, apparently, though. He never put in that.
He never put in a transfer request. He never put in a transfer request. He was being touted out to Liverpool, to Chelsea. I'm telling you now, if we'd have held out, when Chelsea got back from this Club World Cup, they probably would have signed him. They would have waited for it.
And that's my gripe, is that, I'm not saying we should have waited weeks and weeks and weeks, but we could have held on for another week or so. Like, this Madueke deal is just about to be done. They've had that money. I'm very confident that Madueke money would have gone to Kudus and we would have got more than 54.5 million. So Sullivan has folded. And there's talks about they're getting this naming rights deal from Saudi PIF, £300 million with 120 million from ENIC. They've got some serious money to spend, Spurs, and we've just folded straight away and took 30 million less than the release clause.
I think you've got to look at it. It's a masterclass. Like, they are basically come to us pleading poverty. Look, we've got 55 million quid. That's it, and they've already lined up a Morgan Gibbs White deal. I think they played that perfectly.
Of course, but the thing is, though, Nick, is that we showed our hand far too early.
Yeah.
We put the old cat out, going, "Oh, we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money," and then we're over a barrel now because, like you said, these other clubs haven't come in for the bids that they were expecting. Sullivan, when he announced that this clause was in place where he could go 120 million to Saudi, 85 to the Premier League, and 80 million to Europe, he really did think clubs were going to be chomping at the bit to sign Kudus.
I think so.
And what they did is they waited, and West Ham showed their hand far too early, as Sullivan always does, and they went, well, it's 55 million, and Sullivan was like, all right, we'll take that then, because no one else is there.
The thing is, as well, what you got to think of here, if Potter didn't fancy him, and the rumours are true that he was a bit of a ag in the dressing room, and Potter just wanted him gone because he's got targets, then fair play that they've done it early in the window. Yes, we'd have liked a little bit more money, but realistically, how much more would we have got? Another 10 million? Is it worth waiting for that 10 million till the end of the transfer window and missing out on targets? You might as well just get him out.
Wait to the end of the window, though. I think we could have got that. Like I said, with Madueke being sold now, I think we could have got that next week.
I think what Ryan's saying there is that's a risk, isn't it? You are risking that. No matter what, there's still no guarantee that Chelsea will come. You could wait there, and Spurs are saying, look, I've got the money now. Take the money and you can go. You know what I mean? And you're always risking the fact that it might drag out.
If we never take any, if we do that with every transfer, we're going to get shafted. So, and now they've seen it for a soft touch.
It would have been interesting. Obviously, Kudus is first choice according to report. He wanted Liverpool. It would have been interesting to see what sort of deal we could have done with Harvey Elliott and a bit of money for Kudus. Because the thing Potter's got to do now is he's got to go out and identify players that he wants. And if there's, it'd be hard for us to attract a player like Harvey Elliott because we're not in Europe. We struggled last season. It's not exactly an attractive club at the moment. But go out there and make that statement signing, spend the money. If rumours are true that he's got all that money to spend with a little bit more, look, Paquetá looks like he's going to go. We'll probably get around the same sort of money, maybe a little bit more, 65, 70 million maybe for Paquetá. Then Potter's got to rebuild.
The thing is as well, what he said in the video, weren't even there. I only wanted Spurs. Like, we know that's a lie, a PR lie. It was when he said about being he plays for the team. He's a big team player. He's all about the team. And I was like, what a load of bollocks. One of the most selfish players I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt. The amount of times that guy has had a perfect pass on where a player's ready to do a tap in and he smashed it side netting. That was the one for me. So, yeah, I think in terms, and I've said it when I was with Nicky, from last season, it's always nice to have a player like Kudus at your club, right? Someone who's really good on the ball, technical. But as it stands now from last season to this season, it's not a loss. There's not a big hole in our team that we have to fill. It doesn't change anything about what we need to do in this window.
Let's be honest. It's not losing Declan Rice.
No, exactly.
You are right. It's not, because he wasn't last season. He wasn't a key contributor to the side, and that's the key thing. Out of it all. But it's like Ryan was saying. Now it's going to be harder to attract players because we're not. You look at you're saying there about Harvey Elliott. The kids had a great under-21 tournament. Winning that, he's sought after. And when you look at it, it's the exact moment in time. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, they're more attractive clubs than West Ham because they've got that European football. Harvey Elliott isn't going to come and play for West Ham when he's got the opportunity to go and play there and play in European competitions to try and prove and get yourself into the Liverpool side. So why you're not going to come to us now?
It's a fresh start for everyone next season. Everyone starts on 0 points. So we are still an attractive football club. It's about now that there's not a domino effect that we start losing other players. Yeah. I spoke to you earlier, Scott, and we was talking about the team. And if you look at, if we had Bowen on the right, Somerville on the left, and Fulkrug up top, that's still a decent starting three.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about building around the midfield and adding to that. So there is still a lot of potential there.
Yeah, and you're right. We can be an attractive club. The only problem is now we've got Sullivan selling the club instead of Steidton, someone serious and about business. He was good at selling. Whatever anyone thinks about him, he was good at selling this club and selling the project to people. We've got Sullivan doing that now, which is a massive detriment. So it's a shame we have not replaced
He's a hustler for life. That's his.
Well, we brought in that bloke. I can't think of his name now. Didn't we bring in that one that's worked with Potter before?
Carl McCauley, but he's a data analyst, so he's not a director of football or he's not there to negotiate transfers. But I believe it's Sullivan that's doing that job. So Carl McCauley is using the data to help identify players, and then Sullivan and his little team have got to get him over the line, which is always a worry because people see him a mile away. So yeah, it's going to be hard to get any player, but I think it doesn't mean we shouldn't try. It's hopefully they can talk to Potter.
You've got to try. You've got to try, and we want to get the right players through the door. But I think the state we was in at the end of last season, losing a player like Kudus, I don't think it's going to have a bigger impact on the team overall. I think you bring in someone in his place who's got probably half the ability, but more of a work rate and a better work ethic, will benefit the club and the manager and the team more than having this player that only, let's be honest, last season he turned up for the big games. So all he turned up for last season. Now, I'd rather have a player that's going to go in.
You could say that about 8 or 9 players.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. I totally agree. But that's the thing. You'd rather have somebody that's going to turn up week in, week out, who might not be the best ability-wise, but he's going to put a 7 out of 10 display in, week out, and will benefit the team. And this is what it's about. We had a lot of players there last season. When you look back at it, individual errors, individual mistakes, like you said, Dan, the amount of times we see players that don't look up when other players have got an open goal. And this takes you back to a player like Fulkrug. You look at Fulkrug, his footballing ability and his intelligence is far beyond some of the other players in that team. How he gets his head up straight away, he's looking for the next pass. Players like Kudus, they're in for it themselves.
You'd love a player with Kudus' ability, but Souček's heart. You know what I mean? That's what you want, someone like that.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for. And there's people out there that are going to want to say, 97 to put it out. Somerville and Guilherme. Guilherme is someone who they're looking at still. There's less rumours now that he's going to leave the club, and he could be potentially the player that's going to work in that position. Somerville, when he comes back, hopefully we see that Somerville that played that first half against Villa without the injury. We've got a player there. This is the good. It's not as doom and gloom as I think everyone's thinking it's going to be. We get the right bodies through the door. We'll be all right.
I think you're right there. I think it's easy, and I said this the other day. Like this could be, and we've seen it before when players are. When a player leaves your club, especially like a bigger, higher name player, someone that's got a lot of future ahead of them. You do seem to think like this is the fucking end. How the fuck are we going to replace them? Look, we had the same when Parker left. When Glenn Johnson left. When Joe Cole left. When Michael Carrick left. You're talking about world class talent, but you just get on with it. And I don't see Mohamed Kudus as big as a loss as say someone like Jermaine Defoe. Someone like Michael Carrick that was influential. I don't see that because he wasn't playing well for us.
Even in recent years, you could say Payet and Arnautovic.
Yeah,
you lose these type of players, but then you move on and new heroes come along. We lost Arnautovic and everyone was up in arms. We thought the world was over, and then not long later, Bowen comes in. No one even talks about Arnautovic no more. That's what I'm saying. Football moves on and players move on. Unfortunately, look, it's very rare now that you'll get a player be loyal to you for all their careers. Players will go. I mean, Bowen's probably sitting there in the back of his mind thinking, I wish I never signed that 7-year deal now, because what he was probably promised when he signed that is totally different to what it is now. But as our captain, he's the one that's got to lift the players and the new players coming in. That's what a captain's there to do.
Yeah. And we'll see, obviously, look, he's probably going to be keeping an eye on the transfer window as much as the rest of us. But the fact that we had to rush this deal through, we had to take a lower fee than maybe we could have got, that tells me what we need to do then is get a player in sharpish. I want to see the reason that we did take a lower price to get it done quick. must mean surely there's someone close. Because if now we've rushed this through, and we don't see a new signing for weeks and that, then it's like, well, why did we bend over so quickly when there's no player imminent?
The thing is, I was saying to Ryan earlier on, you look at what other players have gone for so far this season, or with Elanga going to Newcastle, with Gibbs White potentially going to Tottenham, 2 players that had a 10 times better season what Kudus had last season, and you're still talking a similar price tag. So,
that's how Sullivan and that looked at it, Scott. But I don't think that's a reason we should.
No, but the thing is, if we were to sell the Kudus we had 2 seasons ago for 55 million, it's daylight robbery. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. How key was he to our performances last season? Was he the valuation? Was he that real evaluation that it would cost us that much to replace him? Probably not. 2 seasons ago, 100%, 55 million shouldn't have even been thought about.
Yeah, the problem is, Scott, and this is what I said on like because that was the rationale for Sullivan and them lot is, well, you look at the going rate of what other players are going for. We felt 54.5 million was a fair price. When we go to sign players, how many clubs are going to do that for us? How many clubs are going to sit there and go, oh, well, so-and-so went for, and he had a better season, and he's gone for this price, so we should charge and bring down our price for that. Clubs don't do that when we're buying them, and this is why we're always in the same shit, because we end up buying high and selling cheap, and that's why we get in shit, because we're a soft touch. If other clubs, every time we go to buy a player, they're ruthless. We have to overpay, and that's what you do. Like in football, there's hardly any players that go for a price where you can say, well, that was market value for that player. You have to overpay. And we've made Spurs, right, one of our London rivals, not overpay. They've got a fair price. And that shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't be, let alone Spurs, we shouldn't be giving anyone a fair price.
Yeah, when you look
we should be trying to get
when you look at what, sorry, Scott, when you look at what, like, they scared them off for Vissa, with a price. They've been scared off by Eze with a price, and they're going back in for Walton, I've heard. And, Palace is saying 85 million, mate. And they're going, well, maybe they're 60 and 85 million, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, and listen, I do think that we've sort of, as you say a few times, we've shown our hand too early. But I agree with Dan. I do think that there must be something on the horizon for us to want to take that money now, because I do think Sullivan is a tradesman by nature, and I think he's a market store owner. So he would have wanted a bidding. I think he was surprised that it wasn't a line. I think Kudus was surprised that there wasn't a queue out the door for him. But he's gone now, and Spurs fans will say what they want to say. At the end of the day, we know what he can be, both good and bad. I've got the feeling that we'll be sitting here in a couple of years' time and we'll be talking about him and laughing at him for doing the same thing to them. I really do. But it is what it is. We do have to accept our place in the food chain. The ironic thing is if they don't play Man United, they don't win that cup. And they're just the 17th place team in the league. And that's how quickly you're
fine margins.
That's how quickly you're forced.
I do get what you're saying there, but I think even without them winning that trophy last season and finishing 17th, I still think they're an attractive prospect, because you're going on. They finished 17th last season as a blip. They've been challenging for the top 4 for many years now. They've finished above Arsenal 7-8 seasons in a row. It's not like they've always struggled. So
no, but they had Harry Kane though. Like this is you know what I mean? How many times did Kane carry that club? Golden boots, all of that, like
but Kane puts the ball in the back of the net. But there was other good players in that team. It's not just one player, is it? And
a lot of them
they had people like
you could sit there and say that about anyone, couldn't you? You could sit there and say that about Chelsea, Arsenal over the years. Like, it's not all down to one player. I mean, you can't sit here now and say that West Ham is a more attractive club than Tottenham.
No,
whether they finished below us last season or not.
But I'll be honest, there's a level of attraction that makes you want to for them to.
At the moment, and I'm going to say this with my chest. At the moment, I don't see us being an attractive proposition above many clubs in the league.
Yeah,
I
no
really
one
don't.
thinks that. No one thinks that. But I think Champions League football was a big prospect for Kudus, and I think I'm not saying they're not attractive, more attractive than us without it. Yes, they are, because they're a better run club. However, in terms of him wanting to being so keen to go there, with that Champions League football, that changes things massively.
Yeah.
And maybe he would have been more willing to be patient for another club who does have Champions League.
The thing is, I think
Should we take some comments? Sorry, Scott. Should we take some comments?
I think Salah staying at Liverpool. I think if they had lost him, they probably would have come in for Kudus.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we, as I said, we did show our hands early, but I think other dominoes fell that we were expecting to fall in our favour and didn't.
Tottenham were very opportunistic of a lot of issues, our financial problems. Liverpool, like you said, keeping Salah. Chelsea, like, obviously taking a little bit longer to get rid of Madueke. There was a lot of things that worked in their favour to get this deal done, and fair play to them. That's what you got to do. Got to make the most of the opportunities. And this is the thing, actually. Point out, shout out to James E20 Zone. Says we can't secure Diouf at present, which is funny because this was the player that seemed to be the closest or next one to be signed, and now we've sold Kudus.
Let's be honest here. Who's ever heard of this player before last week? Exactly.
No.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, we're all getting because we haven't signed him yet. He's a 19-year-old left back that no one knows about. But all of a sudden now he's the next best thing to fucking the best left back in the world. You know, we might have found someone else that we want to go. There might be someone else available. Just because we haven't secured him now, don't mean that we ain't going to secure him. But let's be honest, if other clubs are linked with him, it's the player. It's up to the player at the end of the day. He has to move to another country. He has to choose where he wants to go. So just because
apparently he's keen.
What?
He's what?
Apparently the player's keen. It's the clubs. It's trying to.
Yeah, it's no doubt them turning around and saying they want 20 million, and West Ham working their way up in 100 grand from 18 million to try and get.
From what I think, it's a valuation issue.
We're all in agreement here, right? I think we're all in agreement, and I don't think there's anyone in the chat that would say anything. Listen, you can have superstars. We've had superstars. We've got superstars. Yeah, we've had Declan Rice. We've had Dimitri Payet. We've had Mohamed Kudus. We've had Lucas Paquetá. We've had Jared Bowen. We've still got them.
Craig Dawson.
Absolutely right. But I'm just saying, like, I would take 10, 11 Mark Nobles over 10, 11 Mohamed Kuduses all day long. You know what I mean?
It'd be a slow team.
It'd be slow, mate. But at least you know get the best out of it. And I think what we need to do at the moment, and I think this has been the issue for past couple of seasons, is we need to balance. Yeah, Mohamed Kudus in an unbalanced team is fucking useless. It's as useless as a fucking a fourth wheel on a motorbike. It really is. Like, there is no point.
That'd be a quad bike.
That'd be a quad bike. Yeah. Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, like, it's about as useless as a chocolate fire garden. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in having it. It's brilliant. It sounds fucking brilliant, but there's no point in it if it's unbalanced. What they need to do is they need to take that money and start balancing out that squad. I don't give a shit, right? And I really don't. At this moment in time, I don't give a shit if they just get 10, 11 players that want to play for West Ham. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about Mohamed fucking Kudus anymore because he doesn't want to play for West Ham. West Ham didn't want him. Deal done. Gone. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. We'll see him in September when he comes back to the London Stadium. Let's forget about it until then. Let him go and play in his Super Cup.
To Ryan's point.
Sorry, I was going to say that London derby now against Tottenham. Like London derbies, the last couple of seasons have been shit. There's been no atmosphere. This has just added extra spice to it. Yeah. So when he gets that ball, when Wan-Bissaka goes through him, then that crowd's going to get right up on it. So bring it on. Bring on Kudus coming to the London Stadium.
Yeah, and hopefully them players know that. To the point, and I agree, like, to the point about no one knowing who Diouf was and the player was. For me, when it comes to whoever we sign, I'm not going to get, unless it is someone that that we know is pure quality, right? And he's going to raise the levels, which I don't think we're going to get a player at. I'm not really going to get excited about who we sign, right? But what I do want from this club is to be clear and decisive in the transfer window, right? So say Diouf, right, who none of us heard of him before we were linked with him. Like, not we may have heard of him little bits and pieces, but we never watched him, all of that stuff. Now, if he's the target and Potter's and Macaulay have decided he's who I want, well, I'm backing them, I'm trusting them, right? So if we go for him, but we're quibbling over a couple mil here and there, and we miss him, I'm not disappointed. Like, oh no, we haven't got Diouf, and if we had Diouf, we would have done this. I'm pissed because this is a clear target for the manager, and you've pissed about and not got the deal done, and that goes to any position. Now, he's a left back. I don't think that's a high priority position. I'm not going to grumble if we get a left back, but I think there are more important targets we need to get in earlier, right? But if we're backing the manager, I want him to get his targets in. So if we start getting there and he says, well, this is my first choice left back, we've identified him early, right? So clearly that's a key target for Potter. For us to go and say him, that's who I want. That's obviously a player that he's identified will help this team. As much as I'm not an expert on the guy, and for us to not get him because of money, then that's bollocks to me.
I could not agree with you more, mate. I could not agree. If Potter identifies a player that he wants, then the club have to work their bollocks off to get it done for the manager. The problem you've got as well is that we could agree fee, we could agree terms, but then if another club comes in and they agree the same, it's down to the player then. So it's about us selling the club, and that's where it comes down to the likes of Potter and whoever else, Mark Noble, whatever he's doing to sell the club to players. You know, so I agree with you, mate. I always think the manager should have the last say on who plays for this football club, because he's the one that's got to work with them and he's the one that's got to put them in the team. I've always said that. I don't agree with sometimes when chairmen are signing players and just give them to the manager. Like, Sullivan's done that for years, and the only one that's ever really worked was Lanzini, I'd say. Lanzini was a brilliant player.
That give him this belief that he's this fucking transfer expert.
Do you know one player now that I would love to see West Ham go out and sign and bring back to this football club next season? Pablo Fornals. And I think he would jump at the chance to come back. And I think we miss players like him, because it shows you how underrated he was when he played for us. Because he was one hell of a player, and he's someone that we need back at that football club. I'd love to see him come back.
I think he'd fit into Potter's team.
I don't think he's good enough, to be honest. That's the truth. That's he wasn't good enough when he was there the last time.
He was played out of position for nearly his whole time at West Ham, though, Scott.
Yeah,
Pablo Fornals.
Yep.
Wasn't good enough.
Nope. That's why he left.
Scott, go and put your North White t-shirt on.
It's the thing, the love affair with Fornals, right? Look, Fornals is a great person, a great character, but he ain't good enough for West Ham. He ain't good enough for the Premier League anymore.
Fuck off, Scott. Scott. I'm not having that, mate. You're winding me up here.
Let's get Poyet back, eh?
Telling you,
Scott, you are the Simon Cowell of West Ham. You are, mate.
I'm being honest. Being absolutely honest.
Scott, I'm not saying Fornals. I'm not saying Fornals was a player that used to pick up the ball, take on 10 players, but he was a player that would give his heart and put in. He scored some important goals for us.
Yeah, mate. Listen, Scott. I'm sorry, right? Did you see? He had it in him. I don't think he had it in him. He had it, mate. That touch. Remember the touch at Estoril when he come over his head and he touched it down and he smashed it in the back of the net.
Yeah, mate, we didn't see it.
If Messi would have done that,
I'm saying he was played out of position for most of his time at West Ham.
Dan, I was with you the whole time he was there, screaming that he was played out of position. What I'm saying to you is now, he ain't good enough.
No, I'm sorry, Scott. I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
We're not having it, Scott. You're outvoted.
No, that's right, mate.
That's it. He ain't set the world alight in the Spanish league when he's gone now.
Got to a cup final.
Yeah, he did get to. He got to a cup final with us.
He's actually done quite well out in Spain, Scott.
Against the. Yeah.
He's not done well out in Spain. So that's what I'm saying. It's thingy. It's a love affair. That he ain't good enough. So that's it.
Scott out, people saying. Scott out.
Right.
I see
Scott, you're outvoted. The official position of West Ham Fan TV is that Fornals is good enough due to 3-1 voting. So
comment.
We're going with that
comment.
Right, let's take some comments. Avid. Yeah, I know. You've been starring them. You go mad. Avid Endorsement says, I hate this revisionist view of Kudus. He was brilliant for us for half a season and forced out Daub for a small profit. He was off it last season, but the whole team was. You can't just pick him out. The problem is with the whole team was thing, and I've heard that before, right? Yes, there was a lot of the team was shit, but he's the sort of player, I look to him as a talisman type player that when you're in the shit, he should put the team on his back. You know who did that? Jared Bowen. He put the team on his back time and time again. Why Kudus ghosted? So I don't think that's an acceptable excuse to say, oh, well, everyone was shit. Like fucking JWP was shit. So it's okay that Kudus was shit. I'm not having it. So, I don't know about you guys, but that just triggered me. Did Declan Rice put in a transfer request and was late for training? And a few times Kudus did both. Well, there's mixed reports on the transfer request, but it was reported that he was late for training as well, Kudus.
I don't think you're ever going to know the truth. You know what I mean? Like the club will say things that will make them look like they was the right ones for selling him. The club and Kudus will say things that make it sound like the club just wanted him out the door and he was professional away from it.
When we know the truth, Nick? You know when we'll know the truth? Years to come when someone who was in the team retires and they come for one of the events,
the Brewdog nights
at the Brewdog, yep, and we get one of those players, maybe a James Ward-Prowse or someone, and go, yeah, he was bloody late, he wanted to move and he was causing problems. That's when you'll find out. So Kudus offered to play for Liverpool for less money, and Liverpool said no thanks, but they only wanted Spurs. I think Kudus' plan is to use Tottenham as a stepping stone by playing in the Champions League with them to attract himself to a bigger club. Can see it. Chris Mills says difference between clubs is no matter how shit they think Levy is, he'd never sell to a London club or direct rival. Sullivan simply don't give a fuck. He knows our fans are soft these days. Yeah, can you imagine us trying to buy a player from Spurs?
Yep.
Like these days off Levy. Levy would have us over a barrel.
That's the difference, mate. That's the thing. The way the chairman go about their business.
Yep, that's it. And listen, I hate Daniel Levy. I can't stand the bloke, but I have to respect how he goes about his transfer business, and he's ruthless, and that's what we need. Matt Rainey says people need to stop making excuses, saying he was played out of position. Paqueta was out on the left, and Fornals and did their jobs. Well, not in Scott's opinion. F off soft lads for protecting the board of failure.
I didn't say Fornals didn't do a job, mate. What I said was Fornals ain't good enough to come back. And Fornals weren't good enough the last season he was here. That's what I said. So let's have it right. I didn't say anything about that. All right. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
I bet you celebrated when he scored that fucking goal in the semi-final against Alkmaar.
Of course I did.
You never said he weren't good enough then, Scott.
I knew he still weren't good enough then.
I remember you ringing me up that night saying he was better than Bobby Moore.
X confirmed Kudus did put a transfer request and was late for training a few times. So depending on how much that does for you, that's
you got to think that he's on the nose down. The nose in the nose is a fantastic thing to have, yeah. If you want to know the business, I don't think they're beneficial. I think things like that are the reason why we can't negotiate properly, yeah. But you've got to remember, the in the nose will only get told what the club want to tell you, yeah.
Well, not just the club. There's agents, there's players, there's anyone.
They will only get told what certain people want to tell them. Like they ain't there. They might know what goes on. They might know what's happening, but they ain't there. So you will only be told things that will benefit the club. If they want that message out, they will tell it in the know. That's why Sean Whetstone is a big fat wet fish when it comes to things like that. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, but he's a PR propaganda machine.
X is a lot different. X is a lot more thingy, but it is. You've got to remember they will tell, like people in the club will tell you what they want out, and no more and no less.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit, but I don't think he's making up. There was a transfer request and late for training.
No, I'm not saying he was making it up. I'm just saying he's reporting what he got told.
We cannot rip into Potter. His hands are tied. I bet he wishes he never took the job with this board. Yeah, listen, I can't feel too sorry for him because I'm sure it's no secret what Sullivan is like in football. He probably knew some level of what he was getting himself in for. Maybe not as bad as this. Maybe he was given promises. I mean, the guy that interviewed him and brought him in is no longer here, Tim Tyson. So, but yeah, I mean, he must have had some idea what mess. Jazz London says, I watched the video with Kudus in the room with all the Tottenham team around him, and he still looked miserable as fuck.
Do you know what? I actually see a video that they put up today. It was quite funny. It was one of the players they called him Mickey van der Ven, and because obviously him and Kudus had that fight on the pitch, didn't they?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you're all right." And he looks down the table, and Kudus is sitting there, and Van der Ven's just gone, "All right," like that. So,
I saw this. Oh, this fucking embarrassing one. There's some woman singing, and they're like lip syncing this woman, like they're facing each other, and it cuts to them, and they're like singing to each other, and like Kudus is all like woo, and then Van der Ven's like woo, and all of this shit, and I was like, yeah. Oh, it was so fucking embarrassing. They're like standing face to face. But it's like some sort of TikTok shit they've done.
Funny enough, they showed that clip the other day when he started slapping people around, and I thought to myself, it's got to be awkward when you go in. I think they said when Paolo Di Canio came in after when Winterburn came in, Ruddock and Wrighty, I think it was, had a fucking wind up with Winterburn and turned around and went like, fucking watch him, mate. He's not happy with you. And he's come storming in going, where the fuck is he? Where the fuck? And Winterburn was going, whoa, what's going on? So it must be quite funny when you've got, but you know, the funniest thing about that clip is Richarlison. If you watch Richarlison, because he cops one without even wanting to cop, like he basically runs into the back of his head.
Yeah, they all was embarrassing. Like they really embarrassed themselves.
The thing is though, right, it's like, next season, when we play Tottenham at home, this is the one thing, and I hate to see it on a fucking football pitch, in the tunnel before the game, Kudus is going to walk in there, everyone's going to be shaking his hand, all the old staff, all the players are going to be cuddling him on the pitch after. Fuck that. That's what I hate about football. I hate that now. It's like when we lost to Tottenham at that time and Declan Rice was cuddling Kane after and laughing. I hate seeing all that. Yeah. I hate all that, and that's what's going to happen. Kudus, like, just ignore him. The players should ignore him. Until after the game, shake his hand. But before the game, when he walks in, all the Sky cameras are following him. He's cuddling the tea lady, the fucking kit man, fucking jumping on Potter's back, running up and down the tunnel. I don't want to see all that bollocks. Just fucking get in the away changing room, get changed, listen to the boos that you're going to get, play your game, hopefully you have a shit game, and then that's it. I don't want to see all that stuff before. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, same.
You know, we signed him alongside Alvarez. You know, as the time when Tim Snyder went to spoke to marijuana, guy come with him, Alvarez, and this is what I want to see in football. And this is what, you know, Alvarez wasn't great last season either. He just played in the Gold Cup. He's got the winning goal in the Cup final. Yeah, Mexico won it. He's got the winning goal in the Cup final. He was named player of the tournament. They asked him straight after because of the Kudus stuff, because he come from Ajax. Are you all frozen or are you listening?
No, I'm waiting. I'm listening. But are we moving on now then? Because you've started fucking shitloads of fucking comments. And
I just want to tell you, we can.
I thought this was a segment.
All right, go on then.
No. I thought you wanted to do an Alvarez thing as a segment, but what we talked about before.
No.
If you just want to do it as an anecdote, we can. Yeah, go on. If it's an anecdote, yeah.
But you know, we need some fucking positivity. We need positive Pat back. That's what we need, right? We need fucking positive Pat back on the channel. But
he was there 2 weeks ago, weren't you?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, so he's gone and done that. They've asked him about obviously the Kudus thing, and they said, like, you know, are you moving on yourself? Because, you know, I see it reported a couple of months ago that he's definitely going. They went, absolutely fucking not. I'm not going anywhere. I want to play for West Ham. I love the West Ham fans. I love the West Ham club. I want to help them achieve things. And, you know, a couple of years ago, Alvarez was a revelation. So we can get people like him back to their best. You know, don't think this is going to be like... And I've just seen another fucking positive comment. Mavropanos might be sold for £15 million. Now, if that ain't fucking...
I believe that when I see it. I bloody believe that when I see it. But if we get that, take the money and run.
That is what you need. You know what I mean? That is what you need. And as Ryan was saying just there, you know, when you come in And you want players like the old Roy Keanes. Like when Beckham came back and all that, he wouldn't fucking entertain talking to him. He wouldn't entertain fucking. He wanted to win. He wanted to win games, and he wanted to win games for his club. And that's what I think. You want from your players. You want people that want to play for us, and you want people that. I want Alvarez. Alvarez played with him with Ajax, and he played with him at West Ham. I went the first 10 minutes in that fucking Tottenham game for him to go straight through him and put him into row Z. That's got to be a fucking long way, but.
But that's what we've missed in this team, and that's
Every
why I
lucky
looked
to get
at
into row A.
yeah. You look at that last derby against Tottenham. It was the most tame, passive derby I've ever seen. And we need more players in that get it, and we'll do it. And Alvarez will probably one of them.
I understand that football's different now. You can't put in them tackles because all of a sudden VAR will say, "Oh, you want to have a look at this," and then people get sent off. But that's the sad thing, and that's probably why London derbies and just football in general is boring now because
the last great one was Battle of the Bridge. Remember that one, Spurs Chelsea?
Yeah,
that was a great.
I mean, just going on what Nicky said. I mean, I watched quite a bit of. I should have worn my fucking Alvarez Mexico shirt tonight. In fucking.
Have you got that black one, boy?
No, I got the home one, like the green one, but it's got Alvarez on the back, and it's got like the number 4's got like the Mexican skulls on it. It's like this limited edition thing. I just bought it. I thought, fuck it, I'll have a bit of that. But look, I see a highlight reel of him earlier that someone posted of him, and he had a great tournament. As you said, he got player of the tournament, scored the winning goal. He must be on such a high at the moment. And someone like him his best position is defensive midfielder. Put him now. Stop trying to put Souček there and fit Souček in. Yep. Play Alvarez there and just let him do what he does best. Sweep up.
But the problem is with him, him and Mavropanos had this disease where they just forgot what their positions were and decided they wanted to be around the edge of the opposition's penalty area. And we just caught him around.
I think everyone had that disease at West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was a team thing. I think that was the poor coaching setup of it, and the fact that you had like 1 minute Alvarez meant to be playing holding midfield, and then you see him pressing the goalkeeper. Yeah, this was the crazy thing about it. No one seemed to have a stuck position. If you get what I mean.
And then you've got him pressing the goalkeeper and Fulkrug playing fucking centre back for us.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes it, that was a problem, and you've got to look at the managers for that. It was poor coaching, poor style, poor setup, poor from the players if they've been told to stick to a certain position and going on and doing that. But you don't see a player like Alvarez, who was at Ajax playing that holding midfield, who sits there and does it for Mexico, not sitting in that position and playing
for Mexico during this tournament. He actually played centre back. And he actually had a fucking good tournament there. That's what I'm saying. Like you can, if rumours are true that Potter wants to play this 5 at the back system next season, he wants the wing backs, then Alvarez might slip in at centre back, especially if Mavropanos is going.
He might slip into centre back and then push into midfield as we go forward. Do you know what I mean?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how he does. Alex says Kudus didn't put in a transfer request. If he did, he would have lost loyalty payments due to this is a Sullivan spin. Well, the thing is, we don't know if he has or hasn't lost loyalty payments. Yeah, I mean, that is a thing. If you put in a transfer request, you don't get your loyalty bonus. A player getting a loyalty bonus after 2 seasons, I think, is a joke. But we don't know yet if he has or he hasn't, I guess. Negotiations probably went down the same way as Trigger and Del Boys negotiations for them suitcases. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Regardless of the fee, we still need deals over the line. And since Tim has gone, this board have shown they can't get deals over the line with them in charge. At least Tim had us more professional. Yeah, 100%. Bowen better than Kudus. Water is wet. Sky is blue. He's 24 and on his 4th or 5th club. He's a bit of a slut, isn't he? Let's be honest. Carrot and Blue says recruitment is going to be hard. 1, not attractive to top players, not attractive to aspiring talents looking to develop. Guilherme, case in point, and Brady and Sullivan negotiating deals.
I do agree with some of that. not attractive to top players, but top players don't always work. You know what I mean? As I said, I don't want to get top player. I want to get balance. That's what we need, balance. We need to get people that work for the team and work. You know, you can have one or two good players. You know, you always, you know, it's you've seen it before. Too many cooks spoil the broth, as they say. And you know, you can have all these fucking aspiring talents like the Kuduses, the Bowens, the Paquetá, and all that. Put them all in one pot, and they don't work. So, you know, I want balance. You know what I mean? I want Alvarez playing at top. I want a centre half that knows how to defend. I want two wing backs that know what they're doing. I want midfielders that know what they're doing, and I want the team to go forward as one. You know what I mean? Like, you see players like, you know, Solanke at Bournemouth, not so much at Tottenham, but at Bournemouth. You know, that's what made him so good, because they knew what the fuck their position was, and they knew what the fuck they was doing.
The thing is, though, when you look at teams like Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham last season, every player knew exactly what their jobs were. Look at that stage when I think one of them had so many injuries. Bournemouth had so many injuries, but the players that stepped into the player's position knew their job. You know, knew exactly what was expected of them. They stuck to their job, stuck to their positions. You know, and that's what, in the end, why them clubs played so well in the way they did. You know, they were unlucky and missed out on Europe, but they were well drilled. They were organised. They knew exactly what was expected of them. That player got injured. This player is the player that goes in his place. He plays exactly the same way. You know, with us, it's always
that's down to good management as well, though, Scott. Isn't it?
It is good management, good coaching, and that's what we need to do. If the board are fully invested in Potter, then this is Potter's style. These are the players we need. This player of this position, two in this one, two in this one. These are the players that can play centre half. If he gets injured, he comes in. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that's what they need to bring in, because we haven't had that for a long time.
Right. Yeah, let me fly through these. Go on. I was just going to...
This is case in point.
Listen, we've been talking about balance for a long time, and that was the big problem. I've said we're unbalanced team. So, like I said, we've got to get the fucking players in for a start to balance us. Let's fly through these rest of these comments, then we'll talk a bit about James McAtee and what we need and all of that jazz. Is Ghanaian Hammers going to go? Are they real West Ham fans? They've been here long before Kudus, and they'll be here long after Kudus. Shout out Ghanaian Hammers. We're a club that needs to get 2 years out of a player before selling. Kudus didn't give us year 2. Where's that 45 million Diop was worth after his first year? Yeah, God, that would have been nice. If the price is right, Bowen will get sold. You can say that about every player in the world, mate. Every single player. The price is right, they'll get sold. Chris Mills, would you take a few years in the Championship if it meant Sullivan and Brady going? I don't see the club ever moving on with them in charge. I loved the Championship last time we went down. I guess it depends who takes over. I wouldn't just do it for them to go. Don't matter who we get.
The problem is they wouldn't go because they'd stay there and try and get back in the Premier League. So the clubs.
The hypothetical in this situation is we get relegated, they go. Would you take that? For me, it has to be dependent on us getting, say, fucking Qatar, or I know some people ain't all for that, or any millionaire.
You've got to get the right owners in. That's the problem. I'd rather stay there and get the actual right owners. But I get what you're saying. But I'll be honest, mate. I think we get relegated and spend a couple of seasons in the Championship. I think it's game over for this football club. I really do, because we will.
I agree with what you're saying there, Scott. I think the only good thing about relegation, I think it will bring a lot of fans back.
Yeah. That's for sure.
I think a lot of fans.
Yeah.
I spoke about this the other day, that there's a lot of fans not renewing, not going anymore. I got an email now that I can bring up. I got an email today from someone from the club, not a generic email, someone from the actual club, about season tickets. You know, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to. But yeah, I got the email today, and it's basically offering me tickets for the friendly against Lille, season tickets. Like, they're desperate. They're desperate to get people over there. And, I think dropping down to the Championship would... listen, I don't want to drop down to the Championship personally, because I like it in the Premier League. But sometimes you've got to go backwards before you can go forwards. So...
Do you think that this is a good question, Sam. I just thought this. Do you think that situation, the fact that people have sort of turned their back on the club, so loyal people that have been going for years and years and years, and I know a lot of them. You know what I mean? Like there's some sitting in this room now that have been going for years and years and years, renewing the season ticket no matter what, and turned around and went, "Fuck it, I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough of it." Right? Do you think that might have been a factor of why he turned around and went, "Oh well, if they don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck anymore," and that's Tottenham are offering the money, just take the money. Do you think that could be a factor? Like in the fact that
no, I mean, look, my situation was obviously different for not renewing because what happened with me with the club. I mean, it weren't. If that situation would never have happened, I probably would still be a season ticket holder now because I've seen worse, I've seen shit, but I still went because I love going. The difference is now is that when I go over there, like I went last season. It was the first time I've been in ages. On the way there, I was looking forward to it. As soon as I got near Stratford, I was like, I don't even want to be here. I'm not even looking forward to this. I was already thinking about the journey home. And that was against Arsenal, you know, a London derby. It's like, it's not the same. And I can see why people are falling out of love with football and with West Ham because it's not the same anymore. But it's down to sort of us to try to get it back. But we only react to what's going on the pitch. If we've got a team that we turn up week in, week out and we're proud of, we're not going to win every game. But if we walk out that stadium losing 3-1 to City and we go, fucking hell, do you know what? Our players are putting a fucking shift today. You know, we can accept that. But how many times have we gone over there and watched us get spanked 5 or 6-0 against City, Liverpool, rolled over Arsenal over the last few seasons? Tottenham have done it to us. It's not even him. We've seen teams like Brighton do it to us, Brentford do it to us, fucking Leeds do it to us. You know, it's it's I don't know, mate. I don't know what we can do to change it because at the end of the day, as long as you've got Sullivan in charge of this football club, nothing's going to change. It's only going to get worse. And the thing is, Sullivan sells the club and he goes off and he lives the rest of his life on his yacht with his bit on the side and he's happy. We're still stuck in Stratford in that stadium that no one wants. No one wants to be there. But we can't do nothing about it. So unless we get a billionaire owner comes in who thinks, I don't like this place, I want to build a new football stadium somewhere else in East London, then unfortunately, for the rest of our lives, we're going to be stuck at Stratford.
Yeah. So, So even if for me, the Championship, it'd be even worse because I don't like the stadium and that would be a graveyard. It'd be painful in the Championship for me. So that wouldn't entice me. I have to, Paulie Walnuts, get Dominic Calvert-Lewin worth a go. He was decent without the injuries. He's had one good season in lockdown. And he's been dining off that season for the past 5 years.
So if you're looking to get a player in who barring injuries, is Callum Wilson. You know, the guy's got a better goal scoring record. He's got a better consistency over the seasons. It's just his injuries are letting him down.
Yeah, I was
going to say I'll go one better than you. I'd rather have Jamie Vardy than any of them two. You know, but look, we still don't know what's going to be happening with Antonio. That's gone quiet. I don't even know if he's been at training. Has he been training?
Yeah,
they've let him use the facilities, I think, and so he's been there. He ain't signed no contract, but they've just told him they wouldn't train here for as long as you want. I think they're trying to.
Well, I'll tell you the latest update, Nick. Yes, they're letting him use the facilities. So the last update, I think he's out of contract. However, while he's using the facilities, they're giving him a chance to prove his fitness. So they're not ruling out. Like, he wants a bit more money than what's being offered, but for them to offer him more, they want him to prove his fitness, which he hasn't done as it stands. So Antonio staying or getting a new deal isn't off the table yet, even though I think his old deal was run out.
I think he will sign a new deal. I think he will. I think he will sign a new 1-year deal. You know, I think he'll have his last season at West Ham, and then I think he'll probably retire after next season.
I hope he does like a little I only wanted West Ham fucking video, and he
love that. Love it. That's the pettiness I want to see. That's what I'm here for. Shit like that.
Dude, I don't know. This made me laugh.
Yeah.
Someone said that last season as well, didn't they? Wasn't that like, I don't know, isn't that a little nickname?
I've heard that before. You said it, Nanny Dings. And every time I hear it, it makes me laugh.
Who said it?
You.
Did I?
Yeah.
God,
this is called him Nanny Dings.
Nanny Dings.
Nelly Pina.
If you could pick one or the other, who are you choosing? Calvert-Lewin, Callum Wilson, or Antonio? Bloody hell!
Fucking hell.
I'd just stick
That's
with
like the,
Antonio.
that's like the good, the bad, and the injured. That isn't it? Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
I'd sooner just stick with Antonio. Like,
Yeah. I don't know though.
I'd
Callum
rather-
Wilson, man.
I'd rather. Yeah, Cat. Listen, if there's one way to stop him scoring against us, let him rot in our fucking.
I reckon
that's how you know he's finished.
if
Because
we
I think
got-
his last 2 appearances, he didn't score against us.
I think if
So
we
that's
got
how you-
Callum Wilson, Antonio would stay because they could do the podcast together. After-
You know what? If we sign Callum Wilson and he scored an own goal, I'd get him out of the club as soon as possible.
Yeah.
No, mate. This geezer's got a vendetta
Wait,
against
Dan,
us.
and if you remember, I think the last game you played against us, he did score, and it got ruled out, and it should never have been ruled out.
No, I don't think he was. I think he scored and it was ruled out, and then he scored about 2 minutes later.
Did he?
Or was it when Mavropanos fouled him and he should have got a penalty?
I don't know.
Yeah, one of them two.
The one you're talking about, I was there. He scored. He scored after about a minute.
That was it.
And then the tides turned, and all of a sudden, minute 2, he scored again.
I mean, look,
So,
a bit of. Are you finished with the comments now, or?
Yeah. Go on, man.
One thing I was going to say is that, like, I see a comment earlier from young Freddie Potts, and like it just gave me a little bit of a sort of buzz.
Oh,
going
actually,
into the
right,
season.
before you go in, there was a comment for you. Sorry, mate, I almost missed this. Just before you get into that, Ryan, I was with one of my closest mate at work, was speaking highly of you when I mentioned your name on West Ham Fan TV to him. Does the name Trevor Robson ring a bell? His brother Mark Robson coaches the youth squad.
Yeah, fucking hell. I ain't seen Trevor. I've known Trevor for about 25 years. I used to work with him. I've known him since I was younger. He's,
You know what?
great bloke.
I started that one because we used to talk about him quite often, didn't we, right, when he used to come into your counter and that.
Yeah, he was good. I'll tell you what, good footballer as well. Very good footballer. We used to play football at lunchtime together. Good at darts as well. He was just one of these blokes that was all round good at everything. Obviously being Mark Robson's brother. So yeah, no, it was good. Tell him I said hello. I ain't seen him for a few years. Top bloke.
There you go. Sorry, I just thought I didn't want to forget that one. So you were saying about Freddie Potts.
No, yeah, I just see Freddie Potts. He sort of come out of a statement saying that he's like obviously a West Ham fan. He can't wait to get involved with the first team. He's been itching to get this chance, and I just don't know why, but I can see him being a regular in the first team next season. He might not start off in the team, but I can see him being such an important player for us. And I don't think, hopefully, we're not going to loan him out. I think that Potter has identified him as a player that he wants around the squad. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing him. And when I see things like that, with the shit that's gone on in this week with Kudus, I see a player come out and make a statement like that, and I think, you know what? He wants to be here. He's got something to prove. He loves the club. Fucking, that's what you want to see. And I think, and that makes you, like, for that little second, think, fuck for Kudus. We've got Potts.
And that's it, mate. That's what you want to see from the players. You want to see players that want to play for the club, and that's the big thing. These bad egos, these stroppy players who turn up when they want to turn up and don't when they don't. Get them gone. We can't afford players like that. And bigger clubs have struggled because of players like that. So, like I said, mate, it's a good bit of fresh air to see a young kid come through. He had a great season last year. Now he wants that opportunity to prove himself and to try and break into the West Ham side.
The thing is, like that comment there, Potter would rather play James Ward-Prowse than Potts. I don't see why they couldn't play together. Because Ward-Prowse can ping a ball, Potts can do your own.
I'll put that up because I think that is one of the worst cases of bad mindedness I've ever seen. Because Freddie Potts hasn't been at the club when Potter's been there, right? And you can't turn around and say he would rather play this, he would rather play that. Now, Lopetegui would have probably played James Ward-Prowse over Freddie Potts, yeah? But you can't turn around and say Potter. I think this Potter hate has got to stop. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to give the man a chance. The man came in a shit show of a season, yeah? It's a shit show. It wasn't fucking great. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't great. But when David Moyes came, who a lot of people now are calling as one of our best ever managers came, it was no fucking better. And what did we do then? We hounded him out the fucking club, yeah? Like people were doing with Potter here now, right? You cannot turn around and say he'd rather play James Ward-Prowse instead of Potts, because Potts, he hasn't been here. Freddie Potts hasn't been here when Potter's been here, right? So give the man a fucking chance to get him, because you could have said that last season when Scholes was playing. He got in front of Emerson, Soufal and Wan-Bissaka in that position. So you cannot turn around and say he would rather play this, he would rather play that. Give the man a fucking chance. Like all this Potter hype, I can't stand it at the minute. It's
as
man,
well.
5 minutes.
The thing is, well, Potts and Potter is going to fucking do me up all season when I say them two together. But Potts has got to earn his way to get in that first team. Look, he's not had no first team experience in the Premier League, like in a run of games. So he's been out on loan at Wickham, got player of the season, went out to Portsmouth last season, got player of the season, got good reviews. Now he's ready to step up. And someone said there, he's got similarities to Declan Rice. I said that last season. When I look at him, just the way he glides around the pitch, you know, he might be a little bit lightweight now, but he'll get that. Listen, remember when Declan Rice first started in this team, he was a centre-back and he weren't that great. It was only when Pellegrini moved him into midfield, and once again, he still had bad games, but we stuck with him. We got players around him. We got Mark Noble around him, players that worked for him, and look at him now. He's one of the best players in his position in the world. Not in the Premier League, in the world. So, look, I'd love to see Freddie Potts be as half as good as what Declan Rice was for us. But I've got a feeling about Freddie Potts. I just look at him and I think he's got it in his blood. West Ham's in his blood. You know, his dad was a legend. His dad's in my all-time Hammers 11. I love Stevie Potts. To see another Potts come through and do it for West Ham, and if he can get as many appearances as his dad, hopefully he gets more goals than what his dad did. But he'd be a great asset to our squad next season and the first team.
Yeah, fully agree. Rich says, just super chat, just read this out. Rich West Ham, £5 super chat. Thank you, Rich. Give the kids a chance. They're full of fight, spirit, and love for the club, and that's what we want. And the thing is, it sort of brings me on. It reminds me of as James E20's in the chat. He put out a tweet just sort of like saying what he said in the chat. You know, what can we expect from Freddie Potts? Hopefully, he gets a chance. And I was replying to someone who said, like, oh, you know, players, you know, fans shouldn't want signings. They should want the youth to be given a chance. We always ask for youth being given a chance. We want new signings, and that's going to jeopardize them. And my stance has always been, you should never rely on youth. Like, we want Freddie Potts to come good. We want Scholes to be good. We want Alford to come good. We want them all to be a success. However, we don't know if they will be. We've seen so many names come through. Elliot Lee, Freddie Sears. You know, you could go on and on and on. That look bright and really good. But once they got the chance, it didn't work out. And I'm not putting that on them. I've got high hopes for these players. But I don't want us to just go, well, do you know what? We've got Freddie Potts, so we're not going to sign a player for that position. We've got Alford, we're going to sign a player for that position, Scholes, and we just don't bother and we go, let's go all in on the youth. I want him to get chance when there's less pressure on, because that does put massive pressure on.
But I think
that goes back to having balance. This is the thing. You've got to have balance within that squad where you've got the right mix of youth and enthusiasm along with a few older heads and experienced players in them positions, so that you're sort of bedding the youth in to take over from these older aging players.
Yeah, you want a 25-man squad with these players involved in it, so they're ready to be called upon when they're needed and they're ready to go. And look, I'm not saying that these players are going to come in and they're going to be first-team regulars, because they ain't. You need experience, and you're right, Dan. You need that balance of experience and youth, and that's one thing that because we had the oldest average squad last season, so we've got to get that down straight away. You know, we need more young legs in there. You look at our midfield. Like last season, it was like fucking hell. It was like watching three fucking like Tesco trolleys going around a Formula One track. You know, in a Formula One race, it was fucking embarrassing sometimes. You know. So it's about getting legs in there, and someone like Freddie Potts being in the same change room with Souček, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse. It's about having experience. Mark Noble had it when he come through. He had Scott Parker next to him. He had Nolan as well after that. So it's about getting these players around you and just having that experience and then getting them in the first team. And look, we all want to see. We've grown up. We want to see youngsters be in the first team. We love that. And if one, you have to be an extra special player to make it in the Premier League in the first team for any Premier League club. So to get that opportunity, you've got to take it. And Freddie Potts will know that he's one bad game away from being dropped and not having that opportunity. So he's going to make mistakes, but it's about sticking with them.
Yeah, we need to be developed, and even just as a business practice, giving youngsters a chance of developing them to the point where, okay, they might not be good enough to start for West Ham in the Premier League, but they're good enough to command at least a 10 million transfer fee to a Championship club or to a foreign club, or maybe to a newly promoted club, where you start getting these players. Say someone like an Alford don't make it, and you go, all right, but he's had enough minutes. He's shown that he's a decent player. He's proved himself at high level to be all right. Not good enough for West Ham, but 10 mil pure profit. But because a lot of the time is we just loan them out to League One clubs, and then we end up letting them go for like 500 grand and stuff.
That's half the problem, Dan, is that we've done that, and when they have had good seasons at these loan clubs, they've then come back and not been given the opportunity. You know, and that sometimes you're on the crest of that wave where you get told, go out on loan, go do well playing for this club, and when you come back, you're going to have the opportunity. And you come back, and either the manager's changed, or it's like, no, we're going to let you go now. It's a bit of a kick in the teeth.
I just think it shows the levels between Championship and Premier League and League One and League Two.
Yeah,
it's like you can go down there and you can tear it up, but then you come back to the Premier League, and it's like I was watching an interview with a podcast with Troy Deeney on it, and it was when he first went to the Premier League, and he smashed it in the Championship. He got like 25 goals, and he thought, yeah, do you know what? He said his first game they played, I think it was Everton away or something like that. And he said, because John Stones played for Everton, didn't he? Before City.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was Everton away. And he said he was on the pitch, and he said he could not believe how quick the Premier League was, and he couldn't get near the ball. And like he said even a centre-back like John Stones was like bang, bang, 1-2, gone. He said the levels between that step up is so hard, and that's why a lot of players don't make it in the Premier League. Yeah. So
yeah, that's it. So hopefully youngsters
I've got to go weak. I've been betting too soon. I've got to go.
I'll just quickly, because we haven't just right. Let me switch up because we've got a weird gap in the top left that looks all weird. Look at that. I love this layout. So don't know how much you've seen there. So James McAtee from Man City, who's I think he's captained the England under-21s, linked with Nottingham Forest. We've been linked with him, attacking midfielder. Looks like a perfect Kudus replacement. In fact, he's got that same technical ability and skill on the ball. Young player, fairly quick. Talking about, I think, 40 million. And I think, obviously, it's between us. It seems to be between us and Forest, with the two clubs interested. Forest delaying the Gibbs-White sale and all the carry on with that might work in our favour while they're focused on that. But we have to be quick and decisive. And that's where you could slap down the money that we've just got for Kudus and now go Man City. We've got a good relationship with Man City. It's doable. I think that'd be a good signing.
Yeah, it'd be a brilliant signing. And I think he's another player that I think would fit in well at our club. He's a hard-working player. You've seen what he's done when he's been given a chance at City. We see what he's done for England in the under-21s. I think it'd be a brilliant signing. It's just, as you said, we've just got to get it done quick, because once clubs know that he is available, they're going to be interested in him. So I know Potter did say last season that he does want to build a younger squad and work with younger players, which that's what we've been shouting out for a long time now at West Ham. So someone like him, and I know I keep mentioning someone like Harvey Elliott, I think they'll be brilliant signings for West Ham. It's whether we can if we're attractive enough for them. So, I think he would be a good signing. There'd be a great replacement for Kudus.
Mate, I think he would be a good player. Again, a lot of potential. Probably needs to go somewhere to get his career going, and it'd be a good player to bring in. someone else I want us to look at is Murray Hutchinson. To look at him, he's another top talent. He'd fit in.
Yeah, I'm not even against, like, with the McAtee one. I'm not even against something like loan with an option to buy, and have a fixed fee that if we have him, then we sign him for like 40 million, because then that frees up more money to sign other players.
I think that would be a great deal if we can do that. And like I said, we have got a good relationship with Man City, and we get, like, a lot of people in the chat seem to be not convinced to buy him, and that's fair. If again, I'm behind Potter, and I'm happy to see what he can do. Like if he wants him, then I'm with it. If he don't want him, then that's fine. Someone is that Randy says, Dad, that video you were in earlier, what happened at the O2, mate? Seeing you kick a ball was concerning. I've got to address these allegations at the Toka Social. I've been getting rinsed for my techniques on the Toka Social. But I was wearing jeans. I was boiling hot. I had distractions going on around me. I will redeem myself.
You went Toka Social in jeans.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what.
We'll have to do a Toka Social night there ourselves.
Yes, and then I'll redeem myself. Then I'll show you what I'm really about. So don't judge me. Don't judge me on that Toka Social with the jeans, with everyone screaming in my ear, the pressure. I folded under the pressure as well because, as you guys know, the ball comes out. You got 5 seconds to hit it. So I'm panicking, trying to bring the ball under control, just trying to fucking kick it. Like, no composure. I lost it. I choked under pressure.
Some players can just don't even need to take a touch. Just hit it first.
Yeah. So no, that's a shout. Right?
I was listening to all that, right? And I remember you beating me at the Toka Social one time where we went, and I had shoes on. I had Shawn Michaels shoes on. And you were sitting there going to me like, oh, yeah, I fucking beat you, mate. I beat you, mate. And then all of a sudden, and I had a pair of jeans and I had a jumper on and I was sweating hot. And I remember, I fucking beat you, mate. You was wearing your Aladdin pants and a pair of trainers, right?
Aladdin pants? Piss off. I don't remember wearing Aladdin pants.
I'm telling you what you was wearing. And I was wearing a pair of trainers. And you was giving it, I fucking beat you, mate. I fucking beat you, mate. Now you know what it's like, a pair of fucking jeans, right? That's what I'm going to say.
Do you know what? I'm glad you reminded me that I beat you, because I'm going to tell the lads that, just so they know that that was an off day. That was an off day. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll have to do it. I'm going full kit. If we do it, I'm going full kit to Toka Social.
I see you saying that with full kit as well.
Full kit. Boots with studs on, everything.
I'm up for doing it. I'll have a few pints in the whatever it's fucking called. I forgot the name of the bar there now. Opposite it.
That's the little Weatherspoons, isn't it?
Oh, there's a Weatherspoons there, but I was thinking about the other one. I forgot what's the fucking name of it. I can't remember. I'm fucking losing my memory. I'm telling you, been in there hundreds of times.
I know exactly.
I never claimed to be a baller. I will say that I never claimed to be a baller.
Mate, I used to put them top bins in school with winkle pickers on.
You know them curly jester shoes in school?
Yeah, like Chabuddy G shoes.
Chabuddy shoes.
Wait, I see him score a banger at when I went Soccer AM a few years ago. He was one of the guests on there, and he hit the crossbar in a pair of winkle pickers.
He loves a pair of winkle pickers, that geezer, man. We met him, didn't we, when we went to that FIFA thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we did actually. I forgot about that. Bloody hell.
One of the nicest. Well, that was about FIFA 15, I think. But what are you doing? One of the nicest geezers that I've ever met in my life. Just an absolute gentleman.
FIFA 15. God, that's a bloody fucking hell. That's going back.
And fucking Thingy was there, wasn't he? Antonio.
Yeah, and was that the same one we had? Reece Oxford was there.
No, that was at the London Stadium. We went to the one.
Yeah. We went to quite a few of them.
Yeah.
We've been to a few of these FIFA launches. We don't go to any of. I don't hear about any of this anymore. Now it's EA 24.
We don't get invited anymore.
No, it's falling out of favour. But yeah,
that's what it was.
PlayStation Pro. But yeah, so listen, we'll see what happens next season. I'm waiting to see what the transfer window is. I tell you what, lads, though, I know what you think, like, but if we don't get our any business done, like enough business, I think even if we just sign one player before the Sunderland game, like, I think we're banging trouble going into the season with the team, the shape it's in at the moment, unless the youngsters are a revelation and hit the ground running.
Well, what I want to see what they like come back from training. I really do. You know what I mean? Like, let them train, let them go. You know, we've got pre-season games coming up. Let's see where we are.
This is what worries me, that we're going to America for pre-season. I'd rather stay here and play friendlies and get, like, because being out there, it's gonna like, deals are not going to get done because you want Potter to be part of, and then Potter's the team are out in America playing in this 2-bob tournament. Like, just come up, stay at home over here, play local like we used to, play the local games, Dagenham, Rugby, Leighton Orient, and all that sort of stuff. Like, I don't like all this going to America and all that, and like, just stay here, and I want it because I think that might interfere with us signing some players.
Yeah.
That tournament as well. That tournament is a fucking joke. I got sent fucking pricing for the fucking tickets, and that it's like $250 fucking to get into the stadium.
I know people that are going out there. Ian's going out there from E13 events. He's going out there for a couple of weeks to see the games. Like, it's good. Like, don't get me wrong, we have got a good support out in America, and it's a good publicity for us. But I just find it sometimes like.
Sorry, right? They're not.
No, I just find it
between.
Yeah,
like they're far.
One's in New York,
One's in New York. One's in Chicago. One's in Georgia. Like, they're not close, and they're all in within a couple of days.
You're basically just saying you might as well playing in 3 different countries. The distance.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But look, it's all promotion. That's what it's like you're saying, right? There's a lot of American fans out there of West Ham, and you know, it's putting the club on the map to generate.
I mean, poor fucking Anton Ferdinand's been out there for the last 3 weeks trying to fucking promote it. Like, I don't even know who's in it. We've got Man United in it. We've got, is it Bournemouth and Wolves or Palace and Wolves or?
This is like, I just feel like I get it, but do we have to do it every year? Like, we did America last summer, right? I'm pretty sure when they had the open top, they had the bus and all of that, and
we done Australia the year before that.
Yeah, like with how bad we were last season, I wish we could just swerve it and do like we did under Moyes. You know, where sometimes we just go, fuck it, we'll go Scotland. Like, Potter can take us to Birmingham or something, like where he's from.
And things like that.
Yeah, like just keep it.
Didn't we play Villa at Walsall's ground one year as well? Like,
I think we did.
Like, I'd rather just like be for this season with so much at stake. I think we should have just kept it local. I'm not saying never do it.
I'll guarantee you now, Dan. I bet Potter's sitting there thinking, "Why the fuck are we going to America? I'd rather stay here at Rush Green."
It was probably signed and sealed before he even come.
Oh yeah, no, I agree that. I know that it's probably done a long time before, but surely he can turn around and say, "Look, fucking hell, we're struggling, yeah. Like, I don't want to take my players that I've got, fucking 16 of them, or how many we've got, halfway across the world, because let's face it, we're going to be coming up against teams that are better than us. We're probably going to get fucking beat in this tournament, and it ain't going to be a good look, and it's just going to cause more fucking, because you know how people take pre-season serious. Fucking, we lose one pre-season game and that's it.
Just let just let someone take the fucking under 20, under 18s, under 21s or something. Like, do you know what I mean?
To be honest, I probably prefer to take our under 23s out there. We'll probably do fucking better.
I'm not a big fan of playing Premier League clubs in pre-season either. I don't agree with that.
No, I'm with you. We shouldn't be doing that.
Pre-season's about playing teams that you don't play, like when you play teams from Germany or France or Italy, and then you play lower league teams. It mixes it up. I'm the same with you. What's the point? We're playing Man United twice this season. We're playing Bournemouth twice this season. We're playing these teams twice. You know what I mean? At least twice. Yeah, we could play them in the cup. So
we'll get Man United in the cup, won't we?
Yeah. What's the point of us going out there and playing Manchester United? Like, there's no fucking fault behind it.
Pre-seasons were meant to be you're building yourself up, you're preparing. So you play the lower league teams, and then you get into the last 2 games before the start of the season, and you want to be playing championship games. like Championship teams.
It's just a
You build
promotion.
the levels of the competitions, you know.
It's just a promotion for the Premier League. That's all it is.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
Go on, Marcel.
I was going to say, pre-season was always about playing the lower league clubs, letting them earn a bit of money as well, because you get the big Premier League players coming down to like the lower league teams, and then you have your few away games, and then you have your one home game before the start of the season. Then everyone's up for it. I know we're playing. We're playing Lille? Is it Lille? We're playing at home on the 9th of August.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that, and they're desperately trying to sell tickets for that. Apparently, there's thousands and thousands left. But they're ringing people up and messaging, going, "Oh, selling out fast! Quick, get your tickets."
Yeah, look.
There's loads.
The email I got today. Where is it? What was his fucking name? Go on, keep talking while I look for it.
Yeah. No, that's it. Apparently, like they've been saying, tickets going fast. There's hardly any left, and there's thousands left when you go on the website.
Good morning, Ryan. I hope you're well and enjoying the summer. Like they give a fuck about me in this summer. I know you joined us for a couple of games last season. Fuck knows how they know that, because I didn't buy tickets through the club. And then they're saying like they're offering me tickets for the Lille game in the bowling lounge for 39 quid. And I felt like replying back to him saying, well, why can't you do 39 quid when we play Premier League games if you can do it that fucking cheap?
Yeah, exactly.
If it keeps them going the way it is, they fucking will be. Don't worry about that.
And it says, are there any Premier League games that you're currently interested in attending? I can sort you out. I'm like, I might keep this geezer's number as it goes.
Yeah. But to be fair, like, it's easy to get fucking tickets these days for West Ham. You know what I mean? Like, apparently, but a lot of people are saying you sign up to that membership and you get tickets easy.
Mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. You know, and this is the thing that they sold that waiting list and join the waiting list, pay your tenner, join the waiting list. Where's that waiting list gone?
Well, apparently the waiting list is still there, but none of them want a season ticket. They're offered one, and they're like, "Nah, I'll leave it."
How embarrassing is that for the club? Hello, mate. You've been on a season ticket waiting list for 3 years. Do you want a season ticket? No, you're all right, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
I've been fucking watching the last 2 seasons. You're all right, mate. I'd rather stay on the fucking waiting list, wait for it to get better.
Yeah. Keep the 10 up.
It is just embarrassing.
Do you know what, right? When you think about it, our club is fucked, but I love it. There's something about it that, like, it's just fucked from, like, when you think about all these people that have been paying tenors for so long, probably paid for fucking Sullivan's yacht, like, and they ring you up and say, all right, mate, do you want that season ticket? They're like, nah.
No, you're all right.
Nah, you're all right, mate.
Honestly, our this club's been over the years, mate. You could bring back Dream Team and just make it about West Ham.
We are the Harchester United of the Premier League, like real life Harchester United.
Yeah.
I would love to see one of them documentaries about us.
Yeah,
Mate,
I was saying that.
Box office records for Netflix, mate. Honestly.
The thing is, Man United fans were celebrating that obviously Man United turned it down, right? And they're like, "Oh, thank fuck," because that would have been an embarrassment. I would love to see what goes on behind the scenes at West Ham. I would love to see a documentary.
You look about it, right? You look at it over the years. We've had main players having car crashes, betting scandals, allegations of the chairman of doing things,
Cat abuse.
That's what I'm saying. It's a TV show, mate. It's a TV show.
Yeah, mate. It is. We are the biggest bloody comedy, longest running comedy series in football.
It would end up, if you follow David Sullivan around, right, I guarantee this now, it would end up being like The Office.
Yeah.
I bet that geezer, one of the fun, I bet he turns up imagine the fucking clobber he wears round his out. You've seen the shit he goes out in. Imagine the shit he wears round his out.
I could just imagine the camera crew going, where's David? They go in, he's just asleep on the set. With a fucking cognac in his hand and a fucking cigar.
He's got a cigar.
Right, honestly. I want to see it now. Do you know what? I don't, because I think it just wind us up even more.
Can you imagine him and like, fuck, the geezer, listen, the geezer, I've always said this, let the geezer live his life. You know what I mean? Like, But imagine him and his bird. Imagine, I bet that's a comedy show and a half, mate. I bet that he's like Seinfeld. I bet he's wandering around. I bet he's wandering around inside. I bet it's like the Osbournes. Remember the Osbournes? Someone stick my beer. Remember that, right? Who's the beer thief?
Yeah.
You're the beer thief. And I bet he's like that.
He's like, fucking Sharon, there's fucking dog shit on the carpet.
Honestly, I bet that's what it's like.
That was that period of time where they was doing them. That's the thing. He's 20 years too late because you had that. You had Hogan Knows Best.
Mhm.
You had there was loads of them. What's it? The other one, Nick and Jessica, whatever it was.
Oh,
Like-
yeah, remember that one? Yeah, I remember that one. I remember all of them, man. Hogan knows best.
like
Hogan
VH1.
didn't really know best.
Yeah,
Do you know-
Hogan did not know best.
Do you know what happened to old Hogan? Do you know the shagging scandal that he had? Yeah. Do you know what
Yeah.
happened to him?
Shacking scam.
He used to shag his mate's wife
Yeah,
with his mate's permission. Yeah.
And he,
Like doggers or whatever the fuck you call them, or swingers or whatever.
Fingers.
And the geezer started recording him, and his name was Bubba the Love Sponge.
yeah.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
And then he leaked it, and then the mate leaked it to the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on that time, he was recorded speaking to his daughter and saying about N-word, and it really fucked him over. But yeah, Hogan did not know best. That was for damn
He
sure.
didn't
The
know
whole
best.
family's a shambles. Like the son got into all sorts of shit. The daughter wants to fucking excommunicate herself from the family. But Sullivan would take it to a whole new level if he was on one of them. Him and Jack and David and his bloody page 3 missus.
It'd be an entertaining watch for sure.
Yeah. So
You know,
listen, Amazon.
one thing I've got to say about like them is that I will stick up for Jack Sullivan here. I think he's a lovely kid. Like he's not even a kid anymore. He's grown up, but he's always been good. Like he had his bit where he used to do his shit on Twitter and that, but once he grew up a bit, I think he's the best out of the bunch. 100%.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
we'll have to see if he ever takes over.
Well, the
If he
thing I liked
doesn't.
about Jack, and I will say this about Jack, is me and Ryan have been into the club years ago, and I've seen Jack working in the ticket office. I've seen Jack working in the shop. I've seen Jack working in the office. I've seen Jack taking notes on meetings. And you ask him every time, what the fuck are you doing in here? I want to learn every part of this business. And you cannot knock a kid like that. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many kids, and he's got one that does it, that don't want to know fuck all about the business and wants to go out and doing and that kid wanted to learn everything, you know what I mean? Like, and he wasn't afraid to go out and put himself in the ticket office or take phone calls and all that. So I would echo what Ryan said there. He's a lovely kid. He is a lovely kid. And
I
he's,
can't forgive him
I
for
see him.
trying to convince Sullivan not to sign Robert Snodgrass, though. We would, if it was up to him, we'd never got Snodgrass, and I love Snodgrass.
I see him both. His brother as well, Dave. I see him at the filming of Rise of the Foot Soldier. They was there on the first day because obviously they're part of the film.
He looks
company and that.
different, doesn't he? His brother, he's got all long hair and a beard and
very different, very different. But yeah, no, I spoke to Jack. He's he's a nice kid. Like I've always got time for him. He helped me out as well when obviously going back to when the Isle of Caton stuff first come out, and I messaged a few people, and he was one of the first people to get back to me. I met him in the club shop on a match day, and he gave me a signed shirt to give to the family to auction off. Like where other players, I won't mention their names, read the message and completely ignored me, but then jumped on the bandwagon a couple of seasons later when the Isle of Caton stuff started taking off. So, yeah.
in early days when we was waiting for the Ironworks kit, I remember he stepped up and give us a kit. And I remember emailing him and saying you couldn't give us one of them kits. He went, "You just called my dad a slag," or something like that. He went,
you called him see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, he went, you expect me to help you out of a kit? You've just been calling my dad this and you've been calling my dad that. And I went, "Oh, Jack, I'm sorry."
You are a bit of a cheeky fucker, Nick, for that, to be honest. You call every name under the sun. Please give us a kit.
I wasn't begging like that. I asked because we was doing a community project, but
yeah, after calling his dad.
yeah, and he went, "You just called my dad." I just went, I don't mean it personally. He went, "Go and see." I won't say his name.
I don't mean it personally.
He went, go and see so and so tomorrow, and then have one for you, and he did. So, yeah,
You didn't mean it personally when you called these.
oh, you know what I was like in the early days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, honestly, it was fun times. Honestly, and yeah, it's. I feel like some of the stuff I want to say about Sullivan, and I'm like, no, these days. But yeah, like, nice. It's been good, lads, to get the four together. And
sorry, before we finish, right? Can I just say, right, you got a date for that event, 25th of August, is it?
What the Brewdog event?
Yeah, the Brewdog event. Yeah,
Wednesday the 27th of August.
Wednesday, the 27th of August. We are doing an event at the Brewdog. Go and get your tickets. It's all over the Brewdog social media right now. You can go and get your tickets. We're doing an event with the one and only Julian Dick. So if you want to get tickets for that, go over to the Brewdog right now. The link will probably be in the description down below. We can put that in the link in the description down below, right, Carl? Dan, can't we?
Yeah. Well, you have to give me the link, and then we will make it.
We'll put the link in the description down below if you want to get tickets for the Brewdog event. 27th of August, Julian Dick's. Come and see him. Come and listen to some stories, and come and get your photo done with him. But there we go. Why are you giggling?
Yeah. No, just Kevin's comment. I put a comment. I thought it was funny.
It was like an evil villain. I was like, yeah, come and get your tickets. Dan's like, you know, Zach's going to go on now.
Come get the tickets. So you'll find out, all right, what happens when you buy the tickets. No, yeah, it's always a great event. Everyone always has a good time. Great stories, and yeah, it's going to be good. So great show, lads. And yes, we're going to try and do some stuff. We get together. If we do Toka Social, we will film it.
I'll make that phone call tomorrow, mate, and we'll definitely put that in for whenever you want to go over there.
Yeah,
that'll be a laugh.
We will film it, and it'll be a good laugh. So look out for that one. Nice one, lads. Nice one. Well, listen, thank you everyone for watching, all the super chats and regular chats, and you know what I mean, all the community. Always good. We always get to have a bit of a therapy when West Ham's go through some shit. But yeah, it was a good fun show. So thank you all. We'll be back with more videos. Keep it tuned in, and we'll see you next time. One thing left to say. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.